This is Crisco with the Dave Ryan in the Morning Show on KDWB in Minneapolis, and we're here with Crispin. How are you doing today?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. We're in Nevada right now, and we can see nothing but mountains everywhere you go. So,
it's pretty out here.
Have you had a good experience out here so far?
Excellent. Yeah, I'm having a good time.
Now, we're here for Hot Tub Time Machine, which we saw yesterday. It was hilarious.
Good.
You were awesome in it.
Good, thank you.
It was you stole the show in my opinion. I thought it was hilarious.
Well, thank you. Well, good.
Now, when people in Minneapolis see this, it comes out March 26th. What's something you wanted to get from it? Because it's kind of the title gives it a little bit of a joke. And
yeah. Well, I mean, the funny thing about the film is when you hear the title Hot Tub Time Machine, you kind of know what you're going to get. The good thing about it that I enjoyed working on the film a lot. I'm glad I'm in it, and it feels like. There's a lot of good humor, the characters are likable, and they have good payoffs, so it feels like a good, satisfying movie. It has the potential of doing well, it seems like.
Yeah, and you've been in a lot of movies, and a lot of them I know you do to fund other movies that you produce too, like you did your directorial debut, What Is It?
Yes, in fact I've been in Minneapolis, I think I was there about a year and a half ago, maybe just about 2 years ago, and I'm planning to come back with the sequel. People can find out where I'll be with which film on CrispinGlover.com, but I'm planning to come back out there relatively soon.
That's
I think
awesome.
the venue that I was at, I might go back to the same venue, but I'll be working with the same people, but there's a different venue involved with the college there. I'm forgetting what the name of it is right now, the venue I went to. It was a nice old Deco theater across the street.
Could have been the Orpheum or the Pantages or...
It's a smaller theater.
State Theater. Could have been just the State Theater.
But it's by the college.
It's by a college.
I don't think it's that well known because I'm concerned they're going to tear it down because it's a nice old Deco theater, but they don't have a huge amount of business. But there's a film society that's working to make sure it's saved because it's a good venue.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice things out there.
Yeah.
And now in this movie, it's geared towards going back to 1986 in the Hot Tub Time Machine.
Yes.
In '86, what were some of your favorite memories and some of the things that you just would love to never talk about again in '86?
Well, at the time, somebody else asked me about that. I realized 1986 was the year that I acted in River's Edge, which is a very good film.
Movie.
Yeah, I'm proud of that movie. I was working on my own my books, which I toured around with the show.
Yep.
I was in Minneapolis with. I perform an hour-long show of 8 different books that are very heavily illustrated that are projected behind me. And so I was working on those at the time, and that time period in general, the 80s, was just kind of formulating what
your career was.
Yeah. When you're kind of etching out stuff when I was in my 20s at that time period, so I like looking back at that. At the same time, my life is easier now in a certain way.
Yeah.
It's like there's a difficulty with trying to etch out very specific things. There can be conflict with that kind of stuff, and by the time you're in your 30s or 40s, people kind of know what, especially as an actor, they kind of know what your persona is, so to speak. Whereas at that time, it's kind of being etched out, and there can be more. I don't know. That's a more difficult kind of thing to do, I feel like. Yeah.
And now in the '80s, were there some of the the fashions that we see in this movie?
Yeah.
Did you take part in any of those fashions? Or?
No, I've always worn. People think of me maybe because some of the characters I've played or media things that I've done as maybe dressing more unusually than I actually do. I've always pretty much worn suits, even in the 80s.
Yeah.
But in the characters I've played, or certain media things, I don't look like the way I really dress. So the way I'm dressed right now is not too different from how I dressed at that time.
Perfect. And also, in this movie, was there any moment that was just difficult to shoot? Because there's so many funny moments in this movie. Did anybody stand out as you saw them and you instantly started laughing?
Well, I mean, it was an enjoyable movie to work on, and a lot of the guys in the film and everybody was funny and nice to work with. But usually, you're whatever whether it's a drama or a comedy. Concentration is very important, and just to figure to know what your character wants and to be concentrating on that, that's the most important thing. So usually I don't have trouble with it to the point where I would be breaking or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I definitely offset. It was fun to laugh, or on set too. But you know, not while you're doing a take so much.
And some just to go over some radical facts. We got this in our handout here, so let's see how you did some trivia from 1986.
Okay.
What famous talk show host launched their show in 1986?
I don't know. Arsenio Hall. I don't know.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh.
Oprah Winfrey. Who was president in 1986?
Reagan.
Yep, there you go. And IBM unveils this first ever edition of this in 1986.
Windows?
It was actually the laptop.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay.
And
I guess Windows started in the early 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and Apple Computers introduced this in 1986.
I feel like it might have been the 2CX, which I believe I owned.
It was the Macintosh Plus.
Oh.
And
I'm pretty sure I had.
You could have been both of them too.
Maybe I didn't get it until '88 or something. Because the Plus, you said it was the Plus.
Yeah, it was the Macintosh
the first
Plus.
Mac I had was a 2CX. The first computer I had, and that was the '80s. But it may be it was probably like '88 that I got that. So.
Absolutely. And Crispin, thanks for being on with us in Minneapolis, and we look forward to seeing you come out for your next tour.
That'd be great.
That'd be awesome.
Glad to talk to you.
Thanks, Crispin.
Okay, thank you.